Hey, Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the house of David. Let's get into this. So, I had one again to, the law on forcibly taking grapes from a non-betrothed woman. Because I hear, like, when it's brought up, when I hear it, it's how it's phrased. Not trying to say they make it sound like that, but how it's phrased like it's a good thing. Like, nah, it's not an actual reward. It's not an actual reward. The Most High is not rewarding an individual for doing something like that. You know, it's not. Oh, you forcibly took this woman. Congratulations. Like, no. You gotta think. We gotta think by looking at the woman nowadays. Looking how fragile they was back then, and what that can do to someone's psyche. What that can do to someone's mindset. You know, we understand by paying attention now. We understand by looking at the world now that at studying society, studying men, and studying women. We understand what that can do to them. And you gotta think. It's the reason why it says that latter part, and I'm gonna get it. It's a reason why. I'm gonna get it through scriptures. Listen. This is Deuteronomy. Chapter, I cannot see the chapter because I got a crack in my phone. 22. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's chapter 22. I can't see the second number. And we're going to get verse 25. Now listen. But if a man finds I think it's 26 I want. No, 27. It's 27. Listen. No, I'm going to get verse 26. No, for he found. No, I think it's verse 28. Salaki, verse 28. Listen. This Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28. Listen. If a man finds a young woman who is a virgin, untouched, no untouched, haven't been touched, haven't lain with another man, haven't lain down with another man, that means sex. For you people who don't know, who don't understand biblical terms, when they say he has lied with her, that's talking about sex. And he goes down to lie with her, that's talking about sex. If a man finds a young woman who is a virgin, who is not betrothed, and he seizes her and lies with her, seizes is. That means take her by force. Seize something to take by force. And what's the definition of forced intercourse? What is the definition of forced intercourse? The hard R word. Forcibly taking grapes. Forcibly taking grapes. You forcibly take her grapes. And he says he sees, I'm going to say it like this, and he forcibly take her grapes and lie with her, and they are found. Then the man who lie with her shall give to the young woman's father 50 shekels of silver. That is expensive. That is extremely expensive. And she shall be his wife, because he has humbled her. He shall not he shall not be permitted to divorce her all his days. Now we finna get into that. because the scriptures give you a couple laws that give you permission to divorce your wife. You know, you know, and like those are in the laws. Those are in the laws. You know, scripture to divorce your wife. There's multiple reasons, but the main reason should be for adultery. But there are other reasons a man can put his woman, or give her a bill of divorcement. You know, but you gotta think. Like, we finna get into that latter part. He cannot put her away all his days. Now you gotta think. If that man, cause not everybody was well off. Not everybody was well off. That's 50 shekels of silver. That's 50 shekels of silver. That man gotta work for that. And he damaged that property. And what happens when a man takes something, steals something? You know what? We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We gonna get it. Because that man's gonna become an indentured servant. I believe. Hold on, let me just make sure on that. I might stand corrected. Hold on. I gotta see him look up. Yeah, I found that. We're gonna come back to that if I need to. I'm gonna make my point. This is Exodus chapter 22. This is gonna probably be a read. Now I'm gonna start from 1. I'm gonna get 3. We're gonna start from 1 though. Listen. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughter it or sells it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and for 4 sheep for a sheep. If the thief is found breaking in and he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed. If the sun rises on him, there shall be guilt for his blood. Oh, this ain't what I want. Bloodshed, for he shall make restitution. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. I'm trying to find where it gets like if you can't pay what you broke or what you stolen. That's one. But I'm trying to get find the one I'm looking for. Like it. We probably have to read down. I'll probably pause and do a quick read. Man, cause the fear bringing grace. Because you always supposed to make full restitution. We're going to skip down this and listen to this. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns so that the standing grain, or the field is consumed, who is kindled for fire shall surely make restitution. You know that 50 shekels of silver, that's that restitution. But I'm trying to find like when a man can't like pay it back. I think it's in this chapter, but it was when a man can't pay it back. I think he's put into indentured servitude. Now I don't want to go off assumption, so I'm looking for it. I might give it a pause. 1 moment. I'm gonna give it a pause because I want this video to be unnecessarily, too long. 1 moment, I will be right back. Here it goes. I found it. Listen. This is Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. I want to get 8 and 9, but I think I'm going to let that fly. Listen. If a man entice a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, and he shall surely pay the bride price for her to be his wife. Listen, if her father utterly refuse to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the bride price of virgins. You hear that? I'm a freaking screenshot this. Did you hear that? But I was standing. I was, yeah, how to say it. I did still correct it because I guess you wasn't sold into indentured servitude. I think I was something that was something else, but yeah, it is. It wasn't just like when a woman was taken by force. It wasn't congratulations. You got a family now. You did a good job taking her. No, no, not at all. It depends on the father. It depends on the father. How the situation is. But I'm gonna get to the point where if they did, or he sold it to the, he gave it to the father, gave her to the father. But we're gonna read this again. This is Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. If a man entice a virgin, this can be applied to being forcibly taken, or a virgin forcibly taken. If a man entice a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay the bride price, that 50 shekels of silver, for her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the bride price of the virgin, 50 shekels of silver. Now, hold on. I lost my train of thought. Now, yeah. I was gonna say, now you probably like, well, brother Halak, why don't we end up like in the situation we have in America? No, not at all, because you gotta think. The whole setup back then was different. Here in America, a woman, say she becomes a fatherless, pregnant without a husband, and that child become a fatherless child. In this setup in America, yes, that's detrimental. But back then, in the time to come, that woman and child will be under the father's house. Only time a woman is gonna leave the father's house is for what? Marriage. But now the father refused to give her to marriage, what? That child and the woman will still be under the guidance of the father. That woman will still be under the guidance of the father. Under the rule and authority and the guidance of the father. And that will cut off this abomination we have today. That would cut off the abomination we have today. So no, that's something you wouldn't have to worry about. So it was like, if you take a woman, congratulations, you have a wife. Nah, it depends on the father's judgment. It depends on the father's judgment. You had to pay that money back at full. You had to pay the full bride, the full bride price. Now you gotta think, what if the father, he did give his daughter away. That happened. Her grapes was forcibly taken by somebody. You gotta think, that does damage women. Because it's women nowadays that seek, I've seen it that seek out the person who, took them by force, forcibly took their grapes, and got revenge, or got them, even they later life, got them locked up. But some don't recover mentally from that. You gotta think. The scripture says you can't put her away all your days. Nah, you stuck with her. She can be a complete demon and you can't put her away. She can be a complete demon and you cannot put her away. Now you gotta think. The law, statutes, and commandments is not just the protection and the covering for men, but for his daughters too. You gotta think. What the scripture says, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a rail for a rail. You think you knock your wife's tooth at? You think, oh, that's my wife, I can do whatever the hell I want. Nope. There's a law that covers that. There's laws that covers that. Now you didn't damage this woman forcibly took her and you done made an enemy of your own woman, of your own wife. You didn't married your own you married your own enemy. You hit her, she hit you, even though you're stronger than her. She can do this all her days. She can take vengeance all her days. You gotta remember, Samson had spiritual power. Samson had spiritual power. And yet his the wife he married had him wanting to die. She had him wanting to die. And she was just nagging him. You gotta think, you have a woman who is your straight enemy now. You gotta think about it, Father. The man took her and she said, "No, Father, let me go home. I want my revenge." you know, you gotta obey law. As I said before, the law is not just to cover men, but his daughters too, the women. Even though what's about to happen to the Israelite women in Jacob's trouble, the law still covers of his daughters. This what's about to take place is just judgment. Just a full-on judgment. Let's get this scripture. Look what scripture says, because I'm sure there was things you couldn't do to your wife. Because scripture says this, man. Listen, this is Listen. This is Proverbs chapter 21. Verse 9. Listen. Better to dwell in a corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a contentious woman. He says better. Now you gotta think. You done married your enemy. You done did this to this girl, and now she's your full-blown enemy. It ain't no congratulations. You got a doggone wife. There was repercussions. Like we read the law, but now once we look at reality, look at how this affect people, how these people react in these situations, then apply law. Now we can see why the scripture says you can't put her away all your days. You can be like, brother, she just a complete thing. I don't even want to go in the house and go to sleep. Nah, nigga, shut up, bro. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. I almost said the F word. I don't be trying to use strong language while I be making my videos. Shut the hell up. You know what you did. Deal with it. You know what you did. Deal with it. I know probably some of y'all some people who watch our videos and stuff be like, but when the Israelite man, took over country to the women, what about that? The scripture still apply. What the scripture say? He said, if the man take her and have humble her and have not pleasure with her, you can't sell her, you can't make her holler at her, nothing. The same thing apply. Now, I'm not saying that, if that situation happened and they somehow reconcile and make a stable family, yes, that can happen. But I'm just saying that was not always a good thing. That was not like, man, Israel man get up, he hit his hormone messing him up and be like, man, I'm going to go get me a wife. Nah, there are still repercussions. It'll probably not be the outcome you think it's going to be. Forcibly taking grapes was not just something an Israelite man did. Because I know Israelite men, especially those of GMS, have a bad stigma on us. that think that we want to do this thing. Nah, we just giving you the laws of it. And I have noticed that nobody have brought this, brought this particular viewpoint out, because sometimes a lot of people don't all apply reality to scriptures. They don't apply reality to scriptures. Now that you see how people react in this situation, let's apply law to this situation. Okay, I can see how this could turn out bad, but my guy, you can't put her away. My guy, you can't put her away. You know? You gotta think what kind of influence that's gonna have on the children. You see? It would have been better if that daughter would have been given to whoever she was betrothed to, or stayed in her father's house. You see, wisdom. You gain wisdom when you applying these, when you starting to see this. You gain wisdom when you applying laws to reality. I'm just saying. I know a lot of brothers, haven't brought this viewpoint out, but I think that was good. I think it was edifying. And I remember that scripture to bring it out each time it's brought out. So with this, I really do I hope you was edified and understand that there was laws, and procedures to not just for the for the growth of the nation of Israel, but the protection of the nation of Israel from the men and